What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at some Sword and Shield products you can invest into now that the Sword and Shield era has somewhat stabilized on the market. Let's get to it. All right, guys, welcome back. Like, comment, subscribe. As always, let me know your thoughts. So yeah, guys, we're going to be looking at some possible investments here, and we're going to start off with a honorable mention, which would be this Paradox Rift booster box that has been taken off. We all see this as a mid to low tier investment when it comes to the Sword and Shield era, but it seems like the market hasn't cooled down as we thought it would. There is no summer lull so far. I don't see prices slowing down or dropping. Like, we have our little lows, our higher lows that we get, but it's still on an uptrend. It's still ticking off upward. So the Paradox Rift booster box is at $218, and the other honorable mention is the Temporal Forces booster box that seems to have somewhat topped off a bit, but went well above its most recent high at $215. I thought it was going to come back down. It started flattening out, and it didn't. It just stabilized, and now it's just shot back up to almost $230, which is insane that these booster boxes that a lot of people aren't valuing and actually just aren't getting valued as others are still on the rise. It's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, I just thought I would want to mention these. I just keep an eye on different things, and these two I'm definitely watching. I'm just going to keep watching them. So, all right, we're going to start with the first Sword and Shield booster box. Of course, brilliant stars, amazing trainer gallery. This box, it looks like there's no sales here. That's not true. The chart's just a little off. You got to put it at 6 months. I don't know why the 3-month chart doesn't work properly, but this definitely came off its nice high. It's definitely its all-time high, and it took a nice little dip at just about $400. It's just above 400 now. You could find this at a decent price. You got it right at 400 there. The shipping is about 15, like it said there, plus tax. You'll still pay above 400, but that's just going to be the same thing everywhere. But the price for it has somewhat dropped from its all-time high. You can find some decent prices for it. I would say that the Sword and Shield era is definitely going to take off again. It definitely is. The market has not calmed down. We already assume that it might calm down after the 30th anniversary next year, and that's a little bit away from us right now. We don't have even an exact date for the anniversary, and nothing has really cooled down. We have our dips as always, like any other market, and I think the Sword and Shield era is going to take off again, just as the Scarlet and Violet era is doing right now. So I think this is a great pickup right now before it takes off once again after it came down from its all-time high. The next booster box we're going to be looking at here is Astral Radiance. Astral Radiance, one that I pointed out in the other video, that it seems to be on a decline at the moment because there just aren't as many sales. Of course, sellers want to make as many sales as possible, and it's going to cause them to lower their price. As you can see right here, $360, even with shipping at $370 or $71, still almost $20 below market price right here. You can even see the most recent sale at $373. There are a whole bunch, of course, you can see here, but all below market. Of course, we ignore this thing right here, torn shrink wrap or whatever, but still all below market, all below that $388 mark. Great pickup, I would say, for Astral Radiance. It's a great product overall. The box is great. The card list is great. Love that Starmie. Love that Machamp. Really cool cards in there. This is it's a really great pickup. You definitely got to use all your avenues, though. You can look at different websites, markets, Facebook Marketplace. You can look at eBay. So next one is Chilling Reign. Chilling Reign, another one that was kind of getting bunched in with Lost Origin and Fusion Strike because they all took off at the same time. But this is definitely not up there with those two. You can't even compare the Blaziken to that Giratina, and you can't compare the Blaziken to that Gengar or any of the other cards in there. Really not comparable. I would personally put Chilling Reign more with Brilliant Stars and Astral Radiance as opposed to the upper tier. But it's sitting at $409 market now. One thing I will say is that they're settling around that mark. They are settling around that 400 to 410 mark. Most recent sale right above market. I don't know. You can find different prices. I'm pretty sure if we looked on Facebook Marketplace or eBay, we could find some better deals than what we're seeing here. You just got to look everywhere else. Nobody wants to sell for less. If they're going to sell for more, they will. So that's why you're seeing prices like the ones you're seeing here. So always keep that in mind. It's just not the simplest thing to just go to one site and just buy something. It's not smart. Now, the last one we're going to look at is the Lost Origin booster box, by far the most expensive out of any of the boxes that I've shown here today. But it's also been on somewhat of a decline off its all-time high at basically $540, down below $500. And if you look at like the most recent sale, it's at $478, just like the one that's just sitting here with $11 shipping, well below its all-time high. Like, that's insane. If you were going to pick up this box, it would be now. Like, it would be now. It's just like flattening out now, it looks like, unless it takes another dip. I don't see that happening just because there aren't so many Lost Origin booster boxes on the market. Like, it says 60, what is it here? 61 other listings, but a lot of these are like packs. Like, look, Korean, one is listed as Korean. I think I saw one that was listed as sleeve packs. Look, Korean. Like, a lot of these don't even really count. There's a lot less than 61. Look, Chinese, like, they shouldn't even be considered listings. I don't know why they're here, but they are. TCG Player just does it that way. But there are not a lot of Lost Origin booster boxes up there. It's only going to be just more scarce as time goes. Rarity for the box is just going to keep increasing. It's insane. So yeah, guys, one thing I did want to mention about the Lost Origin booster box not being readily available everywhere, there just aren't many on the market, is, for example, eBay. We saw what was on TCG Player. A lot of them were just sleeve packs being claimed as a booster box. They were Korean, Chinese, right? So if you look at eBay, you look at what's actually here. You see one box right here at $585, well above market right now. Another one here too. The most is just like, some of these sellers, from what I remember, I was clicking on them and they didn't look like the most reputable source, right? You have a few boxes here that says pick for you, but if you just look at the regular listings here, you don't really see much. So far, we've seen the third regular listing, the fourth. Most of these, the majority, have been an ETB, booster bundle, or these random collection boxes. If you continue to scroll down, you'll find a little more, but you can tell they're so scarce. They're showing ETBs and booster bundles instead of the actual booster boxes themselves. You see this everywhere. So I would say about a quarter of these listings that we're looking at here are all ETBs or booster bundles, just anything outside of a actual Lost Origin booster box. So definitely keep that in mind. These Sword and Shield booster boxes are just getting more and more scarce as time goes on. People who have these don't want to let them go. If they've been investing into them and they bought them out in the last, I don't know, 6 months, they're holding on to these things, guys. They're not letting them go. They're going to be hard to find. Either they're letting them go or they're opening them up, whatever the case may be. They're just not out here as they were before. They're just not available as before. You don't see so many here. Like, this really is a scarce page right here. When you look at this first page of listings, this is really scarce. There's definitely not a lot being shown right here. There should be a lot more booster boxes here. When I'm specifically searching off the booster boxes, I didn't just write Lost Origin. But yeah, guys, definitely keep that in mind. I mean, so like I was saying before, you guys can definitely, you should use, let's see, eBay. You guys should definitely be using all the avenues possible. Let's say if we go for the Chilling Reign booster box, right? Like, always look in all avenues, use all avenues. I find a lot of deals by me on Facebook, like insane. You can find some here below market. You got one here at 400, already below market. Even though you had one there listed on TCG Player, but you find different deals, man. Look, like, for example, if I was trying to buy a Chilling Reign booster box, which I'm seeing this right now, I'm seeing this live with you guys. I'm actually gonna put this on my watch list. 6 hours left, $305 for a Chilling Reign booster box. Of course, once we wind down to the last like 15 minutes of this box on the auction, this price is definitely gonna rise. But people that are buying on an auction are mostly trying to get steal. So this would be the place to go. Like, this exact sale is what we're looking for at all times. This is what you want. I don't just buy them straight out. I would never buy anything just straight out without looking everywhere. You have different opportunities. This one has 3 days left with 13 bids in it already at 305 as well as the other, but it's still not there. That's probably going to slow down. People don't want to push that price up too crazy. You know, it's just there. A day left, $315. You just got to go out of your way, look at different places. Of course, check the seller, make sure he's got a nice history, and that's it. It's really that simple. Just don't do it blindly. Don't act too quickly without thinking. Take your time, look, make sure that you're investing your money into the proper place or the proper person, the proper seller. That's definitely going to be favorable for you. But yeah, guys, I think Sword and Shield is definitely going to take off again. The market is not slowing down at the moment. Some things have stagnated, but to say the market slowed down, it's not exactly accurate. Sword and Shield has stagnated, but now they've moved over back to Scarlet and Violet. It's just that simple. They've already spent their money on Sword and Shield. Now people are looking at Scarlet and Violet because a lot of these boxes are much more affordable. Scarlet Violet base is moving up because it's more affordable. Paradox Rift, Temporal Forces, things like that. You're just going to keep going up. Paladin Fates ETBs right now are moving up. It's just more affordable. People are looking elsewhere. They want to have a more diverse portfolio. They don't want to just stick to these specific Sword and Shield boxes. It's definitely a smart thing to diversify when it comes to these things. But then again, you also, Sword and Shield, you're not going to worry about reprints. The mass amount of Scarlet and Violet booster boxes there are out there in comparison to Sword and Shield, that number is insane. Like, it doesn't even compare. They've just been around for so long. They've been ripped so much more. There's just so much more Scarlet and Violet out there than there has been Sword and Shield for some time now, and they're only going to get older and older and just much more scarce and more valuable. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys definitely learned something from this information. Maybe you guys found the one piece that you need to add to your collection, something that you maybe weren't looking at before, and maybe say, maybe this is the right time for me now. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys in the next one. Stay safe out there. Peace.